Imagine a paradise, an island kingdom more advanced than our modern world. Towering crystals harnessed the energy of the cosmos, magnificent flying machines soared through the skies, and a society lived in perfect harmony with nature and the gods. This was Atlantis, a beacon of utopian civilization spoken of by Plato himself. For generations, its people thrived, masters of technology and wisdom. Their capital a marvel of concentric rings of land and water, gleaming under a benevolent sun. But perfection breeds hubris. In their power, the Atlanteans grew arrogant, their hearts turning from virtue to greed. They waged wars, seeking to conquer the known world, forgetting the divine laws that had granted them their prosperity. The gods, angered by their insolence, turned their favor away. In one catastrophic day and night of violent earthquakes and floods, it all vanished. The magnificent city, the brilliant culture, the entire island sank beneath the waves, lost to history forever. This is the story of the downfall of Atlantis, a legend that serves as a timeless warning even today. We'll explore the myth, the mystery, and the search for this lost world. Welcome to our channel where we uncover ancient mysteries. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next journey into the past. In the vast expanse of the Atlantic, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, ancient legend speaks of a lost island civilization. According to the accounts of the Greek philosopher Plato, penned around 360 BCE, there existed a power unlike any other, Atlantis. This was not merely an island, but a continent-sized empire, a marvel of divine engineering. It was said to be founded by Poseidon, the god of the sea himself. He crafted it for his mortal love, Plato, creating a sanctuary of concentric rings of land and water, a perfect fusion of nature and design. Massive walls clad in precious metals encircled this utopian capital, a testament to its might and grandeur. The people of Atlantis, believed to be descendants of gods and mortals, lived in an unparalleled golden age. Imagine a society where spirituality and advanced science were not in conflict, but beautifully intertwined. Citizens in flowing robes walked through magnificent temples dedicated to Poseidon, their lives governed by harmony and wisdom. They weren't primitive, they were pioneers. They mastered astronomy, charting the stars with incredible precision. Their understanding of medicine was profound, using advanced crystal technology not just for power but for healing, restoring balance to the body and mind. These glowing crystals, humming with an otherworldly energy, were the heart of their civilization, powering their cities and their lives. For generations, Atlantis was the embodiment of virtue. Its people valued humility, wisdom, and a deep, abiding respect for the laws of nature. They lived in peace, their society a reflection of the perfect order of the cosmos. They were a beacon of enlightenment in the ancient world. But as their power grew, so too did their ambition. A shadow began to creep over the gleaming city. The virtues that had made them great began to erode, replaced by greed and hubris. Power, as it so often does, corrupts. And in this corruption, the first cracks in the foundation of this mighty empire began to show, setting the stage for a cataclysm that would echo through eternity. The Golden Age was ending, and a darker chapter was about to begin. In the mists of time, a civilization of unparalleled brilliance flourished. Atlantis, a name whispered through millennia, synonymous with wonder and power. Their cities, marvels of engineering and art, were powered by a mysterious energy source, a gift from the cosmos itself. Their people, descendants of the sea god Poseidon, lived in harmony with nature, possessing wisdom that bridged the spiritual and physical worlds. They built canals that flowed like veins of silver and temples that scraped the heavens. Their society was a beacon of progress, a testament to what humanity could achieve when aligned with the universe's grand design. For centuries, peace and prosperity reigned. The Atlanteans were masters of their domain, their knowledge of science and spirituality intertwined, creating a balanced and thriving culture. They respected the earth, the seas, and the sky, understanding that they were but custodians of a precious gift. But the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows, and even paradise can fall. Over generations, a subtle poison began to seep into the heart of Atlantis. Arrogance took hold. The purity of their lineage, once a source of humble pride, curdled into a belief of absolute superiority. They began to see themselves not as custodians but as gods. This hubris fueled a relentless ambition. Their gaze turned outward, not with a spirit of exploration but of conquest. Fleets of advanced vessels, once used for trade and discovery, were repurposed for war. They swept across the known world, their technological might overwhelming the peoples of ancient Europe and Africa. Victory after victory fed their growing ego, and the once harmonious society started to fracture under the weight of its own pride. The seeds of their own destruction had been sown, watered by the very power that had once made them great. Greed became the new religion. The pursuit of spiritual wisdom was replaced by an insatiable hunger for gold, jewels, and territorial expansion. Opulent feasts replaced humble rituals, with the elite indulging in decadent displays of wealth, while the gap between rich and poor widened into a chasm. Harmony with nature was forgotten. They exploited the earth's resources with reckless abandon, tearing down forests and mining the land dry, convinced that their power placed them above the natural laws of consequence. This period of moral decay is what some spiritual texts, like Nguyen Phong's Many Lives, Many Times, might describe as a profound karmic decline. The Atlanteans, in their ego and disconnection from universal principles, were planting negative seeds, creating a debt that the cosmos would eventually collect. The very fabric of their society began to unravel. Social divisions grew ever deeper, the ruling class abusing their power, and spiritual practices twisting into tools of manipulation and control. Internal conflicts, once unthinkable, erupted across the empire. The unity that had been their greatest strength was shattered by political infighting, civil unrest, and betrayals. The Atlantean Empire, like so many great civilizations after it, began to rot from the inside out. Their story serves as a timeless warning, a reflection of the same fatal flaws that brought down empires from Rome to Babylon. Hubris and greed had created a spiritual void, a darkness that was now consuming them. The universal laws they had once revered were closing in. They had forgotten their place in the cosmos, and a correction was imminent. The benevolent ocean that had birthed their civilization was about to turn against them, preparing to reclaim what it had given. The final act was approaching, a cataclysm forged in the crucible of their own making. The end of Atlantis was not just a geological event. It was the inevitable consequence of a civilization that had lost its soul. The waves were gathering, ready to wash away the splendor and the sin, leaving only a legend and a lesson for all of time. In the twilight of its golden age, a shadow fell upon the magnificent island of Atlantis. A civilization of unparalleled brilliance, born from the union of a god and a mortal, had grown arrogant. Their technological marvels, once a testament to their genius, became instruments of hubris. Their society, once a beacon of harmony, was tainted by greed and a thirst for conquest. The very balance of the cosmos, which they had long revered, was now dangerously disturbed. The gods, who had nurtured them, watched with growing dismay. The whispers of divine discontent grew into a roar, a warning that echoed through the marble halls and crystalline structures of the island paradise. But the warnings went unheeded. The Atlanteans, blinded by their own splendor, believed themselves invincible, masters of their own destiny, beyond the reach of any power, mortal or divine. They had forgotten a fundamental truth, that all great power comes with great responsibility, and that the universe always seeks equilibrium. The stage was set for a reckoning of epic proportions, a cataclysm that would serve as a timeless lesson in humility. The end came with a terrifying swiftness, a final, furious judgment. Plato describes a scene of divine wrath. Zeus, king of the gods, gathered the celestial council. In a single dreadful day and a violent night, the full fury of nature was unleashed upon the island. The very foundations of the earth trembled and split apart. Colossal earthquakes ripped through the city, toppling temples that had stood for centuries. Massive tsunamis, born from the enraged ocean, surged over the coastlines, flooding the once pristine streets with a churning, destructive deluge. Volcanoes, long dormant, awoke with a deafening roar, spewing fire and ash into a sky already darkened by despair. The entire island fractured, groaning under the immense pressure, before it was finally swallowed by the sea. It sank into the muddy depths of the Atlantic, vanishing from the world, leaving behind not a trace, but a legend. Was Atlantis a real place, or merely a cautionary tale spun by a philosopher? The question has haunted historians and adventurers for millennia. Many theories attempt to anchor the myth in reality. One compelling idea points to the cataclysmic Minoan eruption on the island of Thera, now Santorini, around 1600 BCE. This real-world disaster triggered devastating tsunamis that could have obliterated the advanced Minoan civilization on Crete. an event whose memory might have been preserved and transformed into the story of Atlantis. Another possibility lies further back in time. With the massive flooding of the Black Sea around 5600 BCE, when rising Mediterranean waters breached the Bosporus Strait, inundating a vast fertile basin. Could this have been the original drowned world? Beyond these geological explanations, more fringe ideas capture the imagination. Some speculate that a comet impact, a sudden and catastrophic celestial event, was the true cause of Atlantis' demise. Others entertain the notion that the Atlanteans themselves were the architects of their own destruction, their advanced technology spiraling out of control in a spectacular, fatal backfire. From a more philosophical or karmic perspective, the fall of Atlantis is seen as an inevitable consequence of causality. It wasn't just a random act of nature, but the ripening of accumulated negativity. The pride, the corruption, and the lust for power created a karmic debt that could only be paid through total annihilation. In this view, the cataclysm was not a punishment from the gods, but a natural rebalancing, a dramatic and tragic cleansing of the world. The search for Atlantis continues, a testament to our enduring fascination with lost worlds and the mysteries of our own past. Divers scour the ocean floor, archaeologists sift through ancient ruins, and theorists pore over ancient texts, all hoping to find a clue, a remnant of the sunken paradise. From the Bahamas to the coast of Spain, from the depths of the Mediterranean to the frozen plains of Antarctica, the hunt is on. Each new discovery, each submerged structure or anomalous sonar reading, reignites the hope that we might one day uncover the truth. Perhaps Atlantis is not just a place, but an idea, a symbol of a lost golden age, a mirror reflecting our own highest aspirations and our deepest fears about the fragility of civilization. The legend endures because it speaks to a fundamental part of the human spirit, the quest for knowledge, the dream of utopia, and the haunting possibility that a piece of our own magnificent history lies, waiting to be rediscovered just beneath the waves. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more explorations into the world's greatest mysteries. In the vast expanse of human history, few tales have captured the imagination as powerfully as the story of Atlantis. A legendary island, an advanced civilization, a cataclysmic end. For millennia, we have been haunted by a single profound question: was Atlantis real? Our journey begins with the ancient Greek philosopher, Plato. In his dialogues, he described a magnificent island nation, a naval power that reigned supreme before its sudden disappearance into the sea. Plato paints a picture of a utopian society, rich in resources and architectural marvels, a concentric city of canals and bridges, powered by a mysterious crystal energy. But he also warns of its downfall, a result of moral decay and unchecked ambition. A cautionary tale, perhaps, a philosophical allegory for the dangers of hubris, using his own city of Athens as a model. Yet, could there be a kernel of truth within this timeless myth? For centuries, explorers and scholars have searched for answers, seeking a real-world location for Plato's lost city. Theories have ranged from the shores of Spain to the Caribbean, from the frozen lands of Antarctica to the depths of the Atlantic Ocean itself. Each new discovery, every sunken ruin, seems to whisper the name Atlantis. One of the most compelling theories points to the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete. Around 1600 BC, the nearby volcano of Thera erupted with unimaginable force, one of the largest volcanic events in human history. The eruption triggered massive tsunamis that devastated the Minoan coastal cities, effectively ending their dominance in the Aegean. The timeline, the cataclysmic destruction, the advanced culture, it all aligns remarkably well with Plato's account. Could the memory of this real-world disaster have been passed down through generations, eventually evolving into the legend of Atlantis? Other theories look to the stars, suggesting a comet impact as the cause of destruction. Some even propose a forgotten, highly advanced global civilization, masters of technologies we are only just beginning to understand. While modern conspiracies add layers of intrigue, often involving extraterrestrial contact or forgotten superweapons, they distract from the core message. Ultimately, whether Atlantis was a real place or a masterful allegory, its story serves as a powerful mirror. It reflects our own aspirations and our deepest fears. It reminds us that even the greatest civilizations are fragile, that power and progress must be tempered with wisdom and humility. The legend of Atlantis endures not because we are searching for a lost city, but because we are searching for ourselves. The quest continues. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, be sure to subscribe for more historical mysteries. In the mists of time, whispered through millennia, lies a tale not just of a lost city, but of a lost ideal, Atlantis. A name that conjures images of an island continent, a jewel of the ancient world powered by technologies we can only dream of. Plato described it as a utopia, a marvel of engineering and social harmony, its concentric rings of land and water, a testament to a civilization that had mastered its environment. Its people were said to be descended from Poseidon himself, endowed with wisdom and virtue. For generations they lived in peace, their great temples gleaming under a benevolent sun, their ships sailing on calm, prosperous seas. They were a society that had achieved the pinnacle of material success. Their knowledge of crystals, energy, and the very fabric of the cosmos was unparalleled. But with great power comes a great test of character. The purity of their divine ancestry began to dilute. Their hearts, once filled with virtue, slowly gave way to avarice and ambition. Hubris, the great corrupter of souls, seeped into their foundations. They began to see themselves not as stewards of the world, but as its masters, their gaze turning outward with imperialistic desire. The gods, watching from their celestial thrones, grew displeased. The balance had been broken. Does this story sound familiar? Look around you. Our world, a marvel of technological prowess. We build towers that pierce the clouds. We connect continents in an instant. We unlock the secrets of the atom and the gene. We hold the power of creation and destruction in our hands. Yet, we see the echoes of Atlantis in our own reflection. The insatiable hunger for more, the wars fought over resources, the skies choked with the fumes of our progress, and the oceans rising as if to reclaim what was once theirs. Our digital connections mask a deeper, spiritual disconnection from each other and from the planet that sustains us. The legend of Atlantis isn't just a myth, it's a mirror. It's a timeless warning about the peril of power without wisdom, of progress without conscience. As the philosopher Nguyen Fong suggests, this is the law of karma, a cycle of cause and effect that transcends civilizations. The seeds of greed and arrogance, once planted, will inevitably sprout into destruction. We stand at a precipice, much like the Atlanteans before their cataclysmic fall. Will we heed the warning that echoes from the depths of history? The choice is ours. We can continue on this path, or we can choose to plant new seeds of compassion, unity, and respect for our world. By living responsibly and harmoniously, we can break the cycle and build a future that our descendants won't have to search for in the ruins of myth. The fate of our civilization is the story we write today. Let's make it one worth telling. Thank you for watching. So was Atlantis a real, thriving civilization swallowed by the sea, or is it merely a powerful myth that has captivated us for millennia? The line between history and legend is often blurred, and the truth may lie hidden, waiting to be rediscovered. What do you believe? Was Plato chronicling a lost chapter of human history, or crafting a timeless allegory? Share your theories and thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explorations of ancient enigmas. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.